All right, so I'm doing my transformation lesson on mosaics. So originally it was a mosaic project that was a mosaic done uh, usually like a plaque or coasters. And so I turned it into a mosaic mirror, so a more specific uh, form of mosaic. All right, and so firstly, I will go over just like an outline of the project. So the purpose of it is that they will make mirrors, and the frame of the mirror is going to be decorated with mosaic materials. And they will choose materials either from the art room or things that they bring from home. And the purpose of it is to decorate it with a text, like a saying that's personal to them, or something that's very inspirational to them, uh, or something that could be like they would also feel would inspire someone else. And I will ask them to think about like what kind of imagery they want to infuse into the mosaic, like personal, cultural, from anything from their background or says anything about who they are as a person. And then there'll be a reflective activity at the end where uh, everyone kind of goes around and looks in each other's mirror, and then they can like write about what it feels like when they're looking at the other person's mirror, looking into someone else's art, and kind of seeing the other person like that personal side of them, and then like kind of incorporate their own image into that. Is what I think I'm explaining it well. And so the cultural competency is that, students will understand each other better and, get to know each other about their backgrounds and feel like they can express themselves through art freely about who they are in class and be able to talk about it. So the academic standards, I'll go over those quickly. They're based on the Wisconsin Art Standards. So to investigate, so engage in critical thinking, problem solving, and research through elements of principle of art and design and practices and process. And then develop meaning, so a piece of work that incorporates personal, historical, or contemporary art uh, to reflect a point of view. And then the cultural and social and historical awareness standard. So compare purposes of art in a variety of social and cultural contexts. So it would be in the art room and also looking at artworks from the past and present in class during the course of the project. And you'll see like throughout my presentation, like in my slideshows, I do incorporate Spanish because we have a really, our school is English and Spanish speakers all at different levels. And so this is a support for them. And first I go over the short history of mosaics. So from different cultures and times, Roman, also Greek, and then Turkey, Iran, and then Mexico. Just so students, have an idea that this is an art form that has been alive and well all over the world for different purposes for like hundreds, thousands of years. and I kind of go into the decorative art element. So in the past slideshow, I've really kind of revamped the slideshow, especially with the contemporary art. So I do go over like the function of decorative art with mosaics, and how it also incorporates cultural norms into a social setting and how it reflects that. And this quote here I thought is really nice. The main function of decorative art is to embellish something other than itself, such as an object, a room, a building, a facade, and how it also incorporates like the skill and the expression of the artist. And these two links down here, I'm going to move them to a different part of the presentation. I'm not sure why I put them here, but these are just like mirror inspirations they can look at. I couldn't really find a lot of artists that are specifically working with mirrors and mosaics with a contemporary message. And then Jenny Holzer and the Power of Text, to use that as inspiration or even as critique. And then we'll quickly look at this artist, Jose Fuster. He's a Cuban artist living in Havana, and making observations about the house. It's decorative, but what else could it say about the artist, or perhaps like who's living inside? How does it reflect the environment it's in? So there's lots of things we could talk about. And I try to provide a lot of links that they can go back and look at. And so then I kind of go into the challenge, the growth mindset. So it's, making a piece of art that has form. It's a kind of, this kind of, between 2 and 3D type of art, it's sculptural, but it's also kind of creating a picture at the same time. It's decorative, it has a function, it's self-expressive, it has a conceptual message. So how do you kind of make that into one art form as a message? And so I quickly talk about using traditional materials and methods, and then non-traditional. So this is a very non-traditional mosaic, and I could encourage them to bring things from home that they might want to incorporate into their mosaic that will make it more personal. And I do talk quickly about like past and present. So we have subject matter, like the dog, for example, in Roman times, and we still have the love for this animal, but how it's represented, based on how society changes, how culture shifts, like how advances in art techniques, like how does that change over time? And then I give them a way to brainstorm. A lot of new artists, they might not have that brainstorming process down yet. So researching, looking at artists, reviewing the slideshow, coming up with a descriptive word list. So things that inspire you, describe yourself, describe your family, just like put it all out there, and then, come from that, get ideas from that. I see a lot of students in art, and they kind of sit there, they're just waiting for an idea to like come into their mind before they start making something. And so I think teaching the process of what happens before you start making something is really important too, especially when you're making something unique. And then sketching it out, usually I want them to have like 3 or 4 little drawings, and then gathering materials and executing the design. And then there's a post activity. So writing a reflection on their own work. And then also I'll have them go around and look in everyone's mirrors and reflect on, you know, how they felt putting themselves into the other person's art, like seeing their image in another person's artwork that's very personal to them, which I think is a big component of the cultural competency part of the lesson. And then materialist, and then I do these videos, and I want to make my own videos eventually. And I also do class demos, but these are great for students to go back, like if they were sick or, just need a refresher or want to look ahead to the end. But I try my best to find videos that have no words, and this works well for maybe students with special needs or, uh, students that are English language learners. So everyone's kind of in the same boat, as far as this. But I also give other supports, like maybe a written instruction for them to follow too. Some students like written instructions, and I do in-person tutorials. So I try to hit all the bases there. Okay, so yes, this is the reflective activity. And I think that's about it. I went over, the growth mindsets, cultural competency, the academic standards for art. And yeah, if you have any questions, just please put them in your comments and I will answer them. Okay, thank you.